Join Sid for this edition of It's Supernatural.
I agree.
But Kevin, you were having this procedure and you found yourself outside of your body and there was someone there with you. Tell me about it.
Well, when I first realized that I was out of my body, I at first was alarmed. So I looked around and I thought, well, I'll tell the doctor. So the surgeon was working on me. I'll just point at him and tell him.
You're afraid that the doctor doesn't know that you're dead.
Yeah, and so
we got to bring him back.
He wouldn't listen to me, so I walked over and I poked him, and he still didn't think that I was that serious about it. So I went to the nurse, and then the nurse ignored me too. So I went to the anesthesiologist, and she did the same thing. And so I put my hands up in the air, and I thought, well, this is it. And all of a sudden, my body started to glow on the table, and I transformed into my resurrection body. And I said to myself, I look beautiful.
You look like that to me all the time.
And I turned around, and it was Jesus. And so I walked up to him, and he met me right there in the center of the operating room. Initially, he wanted to teach me, so he started teaching me, and it was amazing. He walked up to me, and he said, you know, in Matthew 12:36, I said that you will be held accountable for every idle word that comes out of your mouth. He goes, you know I meant that, don't you? And then he smiled at me.
You also looked at your body, and you saw something black over you. Tell me about that.
The next step in the teaching that he did for me was he asked me to turn around and look at my body again, which was really bright and transformed. But all of a sudden now there was a black vest obscuring my beauty from my neck down to my stomach area. So I inquired of the Lord, what is this? And he said, I'll take a look closer. And he said, if you'll look really close, I'll show you what it is. And it was all the words that were spoken against me and that were not true. And they had formed a vest. There were so many. It looked like newspaper print. But there were words and words. And he said, these words that people spoke, he said, they were not your destiny. And we need to take care of this.
What did Jesus say is the most supernatural gift that every believer can enter into, but most of his children don't realize how important it is and don't do it enough? What did he tell you?
He told me that beyond anything else you could do on this earth, it would be the only thing that he would want you to do is yield to the Spirit of God. And that would bring forth an utterance, which they call speaking in tongues. And he said, if you will pray in the Spirit and bring out the depths and the mysteries of God out into this realm, that the spiritual realm would become so close to me that I begin to operate in the spiritual realm here on earth. Well, instantly, he said, I'm going to show you how powerful your prayers are, Kevin. And he took me, and we went to a place in the United States that I recognized as New Mexico, and I was standing on this mountain right above the missile range out there, the test facility. I recognize it because I fly over it a lot. And as we were standing there, he said, start praying, Kevin, in the Spirit. So I yielded and started praying in the Spirit, and as I did, he pointed and he says, now watch. And I saw the explosion. It looked like the atomic bomb detonation that had gone off in the 40s. It started to explode, and this big plume went straight up into the air, and it was all red and powerful. And the Lord said, he said, most Christians are looking for the spectacular. They look at this cloud. But he said, the supernatural is the shock wave that's traveling along the ground. And I saw this shock wave go out about 30 miles, and it was knocking everything over. And he said, see, Kevin, when you pray, your prayers are effective. And it's moving mountains out of the way, and you should never give up. You should always pray. I realized that people were looking for a sign of some sort, a manifestation that it was working. I also knew that there was demonic activity that would stop people from praying. They would actually feel depressed, and it wouldn't even be them. They would have chemical imbalances in their body, but it was from the outside, and they were being influenced to think that there was a problem, and they would stop praying. There was things that would happen that would stop them from praying, and the Lord said, you should never give up praying because you will get your answer.